coming up in just moments. From AT&T Center in San Antonio, the Clippers taking on the Spurs. For the Los Angeles Clippers, they've captured 5th place in the West, hoping to advance that position as they go down the stretch. Spurs Clippers is next, right after this. It's that time of the year. Happy holidays, everyone, from 2K Sports as we get set to bring you some mid-season NBA action. Kevin Harlan here with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, and our sideline reporter is David Aldridge. DA, take it away.
Well, guys, the retirements of Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker mean the start of a new era for the Spurs. Guard Patty Mills said, "We've had great teachers, and now there's a transition. It's about teaching that culture to these new guys. We aren't going to change. Bridging the gap is going to take time. That's where leadership comes in." Kevin?
A proud franchise. Thank you, David. And we've got a quick moment now to take a look at the long-term rebounding numbers over several seasons for Green.
We've seen him regress as a rebounder these past few seasons. His numbers have come down in that department, and I'd like to see him concentrate on bringing them back up. I'm sure the team would as well. You can never have enough rebounding.
Here are the 5 for the Clippers. We've got Montrezl Harrell. Paul George is out there with Patrick Beverley. And it's Marcus Morris, and it's Leonard in at the 3, the small forward. And for San Antonio, Gay and Aldridge are up front. Murray out there with Derek White, and it's DeRozan in at the 3 slot.
And, you know, the Spurs are never afraid to play to the tune of their own drummer. I mean, just as the rest of the league embraces threes and layups, the Spurs going against that grain, leading the league in mid-range shots and post-ups.
Now Murray. White the pass to Gay. Down low. The feed now to White. And the rejection by Harrell. Pass to Beverly. Leonard against Murray. And that one's good. Leonard. You were talking about the mid-range and the post-ups. Those are the strengths of DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge.
Well, Coach Popovich has been so successful for decades because he always adapts to the strengths of his players. Outstanding coaches do that in every sport. That shot diet might not work for most other teams, but if it fits the Spurs, they'll go old school and make it work for them.
And so Beverly will bring it up for the Clippers. And DeJounte Murray gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game.
Well, that was a quick foul for him there. The refs are certainly calling it close.
We've played just over a minute here in the first. Morris outside. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's George. And it's White with the rebound.
Well, you will not see that from him very often, especially right at the rim.
Here's DeRozan. The Clippers grab the miss.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be.
And you know what? For me, these dunks show exactly how great an athlete George is. I mean, sometimes you're surprised that the basket doesn't come down with the force he punches it with.
Now here's Murray. He's coming off a 19-point game against Brooklyn. A finish, and it's George finishing it off.
Well, I think the tenacity of Beverly is really what makes him a clawing, nagging nuisance as a defender.
Aldridge, the pass to DeRozan. Pulls up, high post. Doesn't go that time. And the Clippers will go the other way with it, coming into this having notched a win against the Rockets in their last game.
And that one was all about offensive execution, running your plays, picking your spots.
Yeah, you know, not deviating from the game plan is critical. You got to trust in the system.
Murray kicks to Aldridge. Back to Murray. And here in the first, approaching 3 minutes played. Morris against DeRozan. Over Morris. And that one goes long.
And they're 1 of 5 to start this game. Just really haven't gotten into a flow offensively.
There's the pass to George. Now here's Beverly. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. And Derek White picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. And here is Los Angeles now. Leonard finds George. Now Beverly from the arc. That falls. Nice feed that time from George.
Nice play, and you can see they're gathering momentum.
You know, they need to stay aggressive here. Build the lead up while they've got the chance. Don't waste this opportunity.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. Coming off that loss against the Nets.
Well, I felt like they were never on the same page defensively in that one. Gave up way too many easy shots.
And, you know, that's all about effort, and I'm sure their coach let them have it for the lack thereof.
Players are sure racking up a lot of miles, Clark. A lot of games, a lot of flights, a lot of late nights, early mornings. But in some ways, it must be easier these days than it was, say, 20 years ago when you were playing.
It's easier now than it was when I played. I mean, we had commercial flights and 6 a.m. flights. These guys now actually have charter services. Heck, I often think that the guys before me had it much worse than I did. So it's all relative. But clearly, it's hard, it's demanding, but they also have the very best of care in getting to and from the cities across the league.
And he can extend the lead to double digits.
Not quite enough defense. That time around, just lucky he was off.
Knocked loose. Here's White. Once again off the mark by San Antonio. Los Angeles leading by 7. Here's Leonard. Tries yet again. And he lays it up and in.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They keep getting it in the paint and continue to score consistently.
DeRozan surveying the D. Another miss, and they desperately need a bucket.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to buy himself a ticket to the bench. If he keeps shooting it like that, he has been putrid here this quarter.
To the paint. Here's Morris. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
Yeah, that's some physical defense against Morris, who attacks with one of his many moves. And we'll just see what he does here at the line.
And free throw good for Morris. How great the Clippers signing of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, the grand finale of the wildest summer in NBA free agent history.
A ton of big moves. You think of the star players who've changed teams, 1/3 of the league's all-NBA selections, and 5 out of 10 of the reigning all-star starters. In the end, we saw 7 players who've changed teams, signing for over $100 million each. put that in perspective. Only 8 players had ever done that in league history.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over.
And, you know, guys, the Spurs team dinner's the stuff of legends, just building camaraderie and getting to know one another and being orchestrated with care by head coach Greg Popovich. They enjoyed the finest restaurants and great food and drink, but the fellowship and camaraderie, probably the most important part of those dinner gatherings.
Moment here to look at some of the stats for Leonard. First in steals, 8th in scoring, and how about his top 10 ranking and free throw percentage? A knockdown shooter, ultra reliable from the line.
And as you said, #1 in steals this season. He's the sneakiest ball hawk in the league right now. Hide everything you've got because he's coming after you. Now here's DeRozan. He had an 18-point outing in their last game against Brooklyn.
And he was relentless in that one. I mean, he wanted to be the first to every rebound and almost was.
Leonard against Murray. And Rudy Gay picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game.
And the next one puts him in the bonus.
Yep, they'll be trying to draw that next foul quickly so they can start getting those easy chances at the stripe.
Mills, he's checked in for DeJounte Murray. And then for the Clippers, Zubac is checked in for Morris. And Reggie Jackson subbed in for Patrick Beverly. Now here's Leonard. He had 22 points in the win against Houston.
And there really was a physical aspect of his performance that was off the charts. He was taking it right at him, and he just kept getting those calls and getting to the line. And the defense looks soft early on. They've got to sum it up, a little more sense of urgency.
Yeah, they've got to do a little more to disrupt their offensive rhythm, too.
And he's not going to miss that sort of an opportunity from deep.
Pulls it from the elbow. That one drops for him. Leonard's got 6.
And the story here, Kevin, early on is how well they've shot the basketball.
Very high percentage so far, and if you want to start a game hot, that's the way to do it.
Now here's Aldridge. Nothing yet on the scoreboard for him. Shoots over Zubac. Aldridge getting it done. What a move that time.
You know, sometimes overwhelming presence. Aldridge is a handful to deal with because of his height, strength, and length.
Here's Leonard. 6 points for him. Over Mills. Again, Los Angeles.
And you can't help but pick their defense apart. They're completely in disarray.
Well, everything's coming too easily. I mean, at some point defensively, you have to take something away.
Here's Mills. Kawhi Leonard making his last shot. Mills passes to Aldridge. Back to Mills. 4 on the clock. Over Jackson. Rebound, Kawhi Leonard. Leonard's got his 5th rebound in this one. And Jackson throws it down hard.
Displaying intensity right off the opening tip, especially on the offensive end.
Tell you what, forget about easing into the game. They came out with guns blazing.
Now here's Mills. 11 points for him in that last game against Brooklyn.
And a lot of those points came at the free throw line, really because of his aggression. He was playing the game with force, always catching his man on his heels.
On the wing, Jackson, covered by Mills. Jackson passes to Harrell. Good for the basket, starting off 1 for 1 with that shot. And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Clippers.
Well, in the first half of play, they're closing out aggressively, blocking shots, a key indicator of their activity on the defensive side.
Another big aspect of their game tonight has been the fast break, transition opportunities. They're really keeping it up-tempo so far.
And some changes here for the Spurs. Jakob Poeltl's checked in for Aldridge, and Lyle subbed in for Rudy Gay. And then for Los Angeles, Patterson comes in for Harrell, and Landry Shamet subbed in for Paul George. Now here's Jackson. 8 points his last outing. Shamet with it. Here's Zubac. Right wing. And Patterson kicks to Zubac. Rebounded by the Spurs. They came away with the victory in their last meeting, which, by the way, was also in this building.
Yeah, a really close game between these two in that last matchup. It took a total team effort for them to get the win.
It sure did, and they got a lot of scoring from their bench, Greg, and I think that really was the crucial difference.
And the bucket is good. 3-point play chance here for him.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now, Greg, they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen.
A superstar summer, Greg, for the Los Angeles Clippers in Kawhi Leonard and in Paul George. Greg, they have 2 elite wings, great defenders in their prime.
Give them credit, but also Kawhi Leonard pushing the levers behind the scenes. He wanted another superstar to join him in recruiting Paul George, who still had 2 years left on his deal in OKC. Kawhi took unprecedented control of his free agent destiny.
Now, here's Mills. A look at his stats. He averages a bit over 8 points a game. Forbes, the pass to DeRozan.
And they've done a nice job controlling the defensive backboard to start this game.
Not 1 second chance bucket allowed. That is finishing off good defense.
You can't look at the result of that shot. They'll take that whenever they get it.
Well, you know, I hear you. That's a good look, but when you're that wide open, I think you got to knock it down.
Now, here's Mills. Pass to DeRozan. Shoots over Patterson. Again, the miss by the Spurs. We're at the end of the first quarter, and what a blowout already in this one. Los Angeles on top, just dominating this one. After this break, we'll be back with the start of the second quarter on 2K Sports.
Back up, back up, back up, back up. Back up, back up.
Paul George had that nasty broken leg back in 2014. He describes what inspired him to come back even stronger.
My inspiration really came from my mother. You know, her dealing with stroke, her dealing with really being down and out. You know, I saw her fight back. That was enough for me. In my darkest days, I knew it was nothing to what my mom went through, and she came out perfectly fine, so.
Well, what a story. George worked hard to get back and is not disappointed in his return.
You know, recovering from a devastating injury is never easy, but George's perspective and commitment helped him to overcome it.
And so far, through one quarter, it's been a lopsided game. We'll see if that changes here in the second. And a comfortable margin here for the Clippers guys.
Well, this is the edge that great rim protection can give you.
Yeah, you know, you have a guy in there blocking a bunch of shots or multiple players blocking shots. It causes the offense to think twice when they go up for shots in there.
Taking a look at Los Angeles. Shamet and Leonard are on the wing. Patrick Patterson is out there with Ivica Zubac. And it's Jackson in at the 1 spot. Clippers leading by 21. Pass to Leonard. Back to Jackson. Pass to Shamet. And here is Patterson. Shot clock at 5. The Clippers need to get off a shot. Jackson from long range gets it to go from beyond the arc.
And great job from beyond the arc this quarter. They are now shooting the three at almost 60% for the game.
Outside DeRozan. From deep. It's hauled in by Los Angeles.
And physically, there's no doubt they've been the stronger team. A plus 10 rebound advantage tells you all you need to know.
Now here's Mills. He's covered by Shamet. Lays it up off the glass. Mills has got his second bucket of the night.
And you're going to take as many of those high percentage shots as you can get.
Leonard looking around. Nice D from DeRozan.
And the activity he shows around the rim is why he is such a respected defender.
And you know what? He's not going to give up an easy finish at the rim. I mean, that's just against his constitution.
Now, here's DeRozan. Kawhi Leonard unable to get his shot to go. DeRozan with it. Guarded now by Patrick Patterson. And the basket by DeRozan.
You know, the athleticism is obvious when you look at DeRozan's game, but he also has tremendous strength, and wasn't much the defender could do there. You know, in the loaded West, DeMar DeRozan, not an all-star last season after being one multiple times in the East, his first time missing the festivities in 4 seasons.
And the Spurs with some changes. White comes in for Bryn Forbes, and it's DeJounte Murray in for Patty Mills. Marcus Morris is checked in for the Clippers. Quarter number 2, around 3 minutes gone by. Here's DeRozan. They get it again. And the rejection by Zubac. Now, here's Shamet. White covering. Jackson kicks to Shamet. Morris inside. DeRozan defending. Goes back up. And Pirtle sends it back.
Wonderful anticipation that time from Pirtle, positioning himself perfectly to send that one back.
DeRozan finds Murray. It's hauled in by Zubac. You talk about that edge, Clark, for DeRozan, very focused on proving his doubters wrong.
Nothing wrong with playing with something to prove, with that kind of attitude and mindset, turning that negative into a positive. And most importantly, it can't just be a mindset. You have to put the work into it as well. And he's done that, gotten better each year.
Patterson, that's good.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Really a prime example of the difference in how these teams have operated offensively. Much more individual play at the other end.
Here's DeRozan. Patrick Patterson picking up that last bucket.
Whoa! Are you kidding me? Nasty. That is a DeRozan specialty there. Draw contact, convert, and then head to the line for a freebie. Not by accident. That's his plan.
And growing up about 15 miles south of the Staples Center, DeMar DeRozan idolized Kobe Bryant, Clark, and patterned his game after him.
And you can see evidence of Kobe's game in DeMarcus's game. You think about the footwork, the ability to post up, the moves and counter moves, the balance and strength. I think he owes a lot of that to the Mamba.
One shot.
That's good from DeMar DeRozan. Clark, I have sat next to you doing these games for years. What's prevented you from taking a coaching position at some level? Because I hear you talk, I'm thinking you'd be a perfect coach.
Well, a couple of things. One, coaching never lets up. It's always on you, and I've come to enjoy the fact that I can be fully immersed as a broadcaster and work with great guys like you and others, and then have a period of time where I don't have to be immersed in basketball, and I've enjoyed that. And I also haven't trained or prepared to be a coach because it is demanding in terms of the hours that you have to put in. And I've got a little more job security, I think, in the role that I serve as an analyst as opposed to what might happen if I did try to be a coach.
You've got all the security in the world, believe me. The Spurs making a switch here. Gay's checked in. Paul George with the steal. Beverly the pass to George. No good with the triple. Spurs trail by 19. Gay scanning the floor. Here's White. And the rejection by Harrell. Murray, no good. Los Angeles has gotten fewer than half of their three-pointers to go down tonight. They're 4 for 9. George with the bucket.
Boy, he's been a rock of offensive support so far, and when they've needed a basket, they've turned to him.
Murray with the bounce pass. That shot, no good. Good work defensively by Morris. Beverly the pass to Morris. And it's sent back by Aldridge.
He's not an easy guy to get a shot up and over. Aldridge has those long arms, and his timing's good, too.
The three-pointer is right on target.
Not too much respect shown to him by the defenders.
And it's the Clippers with the ball, following the three-pointer by San Antonio. On the wing, Jackson. He's covered by Murray. Fires at the elbow. And that one hits back iron.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
Let's go, man.
Back to Gay. Over Morris. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. Marcus Morris picks one up there.
Boy, Rudy Gay is a multi-talented and gifted athlete. I mean, he's an excellent shooter, a versatile defender, and continues to play at a high level.
This is his first free throw of the game.
Shooting 2.
That's good from Rudy Gay.
And the Spurs, I've heard it said, the most process-oriented team in the league.
Well, that's an understanding of what it takes for them as a small market team to be successful. A good assessment of what they have to do as the San Antonio Spurs to be good. Scouting, coaching, chemistry, all part of that.
And good on the second, so he makes them both. And it's Jackson with the ball, bringing it up for the Los Angeles Clippers. The biggest lead of the game was 24 points. They get it back. Harrell can't get it to fall.
And he did everything he could to make that shot as difficult as possible.
And you know what, guys? That will pump him up because he takes a ton of pride in what he does on defense.
Now here's Murray. He's gotten some minutes, but nothing on the board yet. Basket counts.
They are just killing him on the interior.
Yeah, you can't say that with enough emphasis. I mean, the defenders are just not being aggressive enough down low. You got to play with some physicality in the paint.
Clippers with the ball, following the bucket by the Spurs. Outside, George. And it's Harrell missing.
Yeah, and that was lining up to be a huge alley-oop, but they just couldn't quite connect.
And you know, guys, always a tough catch on the lob. Placement and timing have to be close to perfect.
And they get it back. A nice shot by Aldridge. Los Angeles leading by 13. George looking over the floor. They can't stop the run with that one.
You know, guys, you can tell he wants to contribute more, but his teammates have picked up the slack for him. That's what being on the team is all about.
Now here's Murray. They look to him for part of their offensive attack. Right now he averages nearly 12 points a game. The pass to Aldridge. 4 on the shot clock. It's good. Aldridge has got his third basket of the night.
You know, with all his post moves, Aldridge usually is able to trick the defense, but even when he doesn't, he'll still manage to finish through contact.
Here's George. He's coming off a 31-point game against Houston.
And made a big mark at the free throw line as well. He got himself to the strike a lot and cashed in when he had his chances.
And let's check out a breakdown. Looking at some stats for Gay.
And he's been very active with his hands. How about the steal numbers this month? He's been really hounding on the defensive side.
Shooting 2.
That's good from Rudy Gay.
Yeah, in this quarter, they've had the right approach, driving and drawing, initiating contact, create opportunities, get to the line.
Yeah, I like everything you said there, because when all else fails, if you can get to the stripe, that's really a good way to change the momentum in the game, because you get points and you also slow down the opponent because the game isn't going up and down as much.
Rudy Gay hits them both.
And that's the norm for him. He's pretty much automatic when he's at the line.
Los Angeles leading by 9. Outside Leonard. They need this one, and the jumper is on the mark. Leonard's got 13.
Yeah, and from mid-range, Leonard's jump shot is money. It doesn't matter if it's off the dribble or catch and shoot. He never loses his touch.
Now here's Gay, one of the dependable scorers on the team. He's averaging close to 17 points a game, and the shot goes down. 6 points for him.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, Greg, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance here.
Gay against George, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Well, for so much of what Paul George brings to the table, you have to start with his defensive impact. He is one of the top defenders in the league at his position, if not the best.
And the first one drops.
And every single season, Paul George has kicked his game up another level. I think he's a premier two-way forward who gets it done at both ends.
And both free throws good for Paul George. Here's Mills. He has 5. 35 seconds left to play here in the half. Softly drops in the floater.
He's done a nice job, a great job actually, of finding efficient shots here in the second. Shooting percentage always a function of the kinds of shots you get. And he's on a good roll after struggling a bit in the first.
And that one's good, Leonard.
And he's got the athleticism and strength to be a powerful presence inside. Leonard never afraid to get in and mix it up down low.
Now here's Mills. He has 7. Passes it to Aldridge. Shot clock at 6. And there it is for him. Aldridge has got 6 here in this quarter.
Boy, that's a nice touch. Aldridge very comfortable with his jump shot.
George from deep three-point land, and the last second attempt doesn't fall. And so it's the Los Angeles Clippers ahead by 9 as the quarter comes to a close. Their defense has been active and effective. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thanks so much. Kawhi, you seem to be so at ease out there. How much is that helping your game?
It's helping me out a lot. Just coming in the game relaxed, just with more intensity. I mean, my teammates are getting me involved on the offensive end. I'm playing great on defense. We just got to keep it up second half and not let it up.
Hey, Kawhi, thank you very much for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, Dave, for the great interview. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball right after this.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show. Greetings to each and every one of you watching at this very moment. I'm Ernie Johnson. Kenny the Jet Smith is here. Shaq is here. One half is behind us. Welcome to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. The story early on was Kawhi Leonard, who was on fire. He ended up with 15 points, 2 assists, and 6 rebounds. And let us get your thoughts, big fella, on the Clippers.
Well, we all appreciate the toughness of Kawhi Leonard. Nothing phases him mentally. Wears you down physically, always focused, always competing. Terrific first half.
Kenny, how do you think San Antonio played?
Well, they shot under 40% in the first half. There's your deficit. They missed some open looks, wide open. But overall, I thought the offense was stagnant. Look for their coach to draw up some specific plays to try to jumpstart them in the second half.
And that does it for our halftime show. We now take you back to Kevin Harlan for the start of the third period.
We played through the first half. Plenty of basketball, though, left in this one. Kawhi Leonard really has his fingerprints all over this one.
You just love the patience in that first half. Waited until he got the look he wanted.
Well, you know what, guys? It was all about efficient offense, not rushing things, taking your time, finding the best shot on every possession.
And we hope you've enjoyed the broadcast so far. We're halfway through the game. Los Angeles leading by 9. Gay and Aldridge are up front. Derek White is out there with DeJounte Murray. And it's DeRozan in at the small forward. So that's who Greg Popovich starts the second half with. Now here's Leonard. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up. It's on LaMarcus Aldridge.
And maybe the biggest story of this summer, where would Kawhi Leonard be headed in free agency? A player of his caliber commands that kind of media scrutiny.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
That one is off. Greg, you talk about the media focus for Kawhi Leonard. Not exactly something he embraces.
Not at all. As a kid on his birthdays, he'd shutter himself in his room because he didn't want the attention. To this day, he lets his play do the talking.
He hits the second from the line. Look, we've talked about footwork, but a player's hands, how he catches, how he passes, the use of his hands are huge. And there are a couple guys out there that are great at that.
Kawhi Leonard has got some mitts unlike any other in the league. I mean, he's not that tall. He's long-armed, and his hands are humongous. That ball looks like a tennis ball in his hands. And not only are they big, they're good. He's active with them on defense, and he's very strong in how he handles the ball offensively. You know, I think about a guy in terms of maybe not size, but really good hands. Jokic, his hands are phenomenal.
Shot clock at 2.
The nastiness, the edge, the tenacity, the ferocity that Beverly plays with, really admirable.
And Leonard gets it to go on the assist by George. And that's 18 points for Kawhi Leonard.
There's PG creating for a teammate. Terrific dime drop.
Murray outside. And it's Murray with the jam.
You know, Murray's game is about putting the ball on the floor, moving without it when he doesn't have it, and driving and keeping pressure on the defense.
Now, here is George. He's got 12. Here's Harrell. No good on that one. Aldridge with some nice D. Murray against Beverly. Murray surveying the D. The Spurs need to get a shot off here. Good on the shot. Aldridge has got it back down to a single-digit deficit for the Spurs.
You know, there are some that say Aldridge likes his mid-range game a little too much, but hey, there's a lot to like about the way he shoots it from there.
And it's Beverly missing.
That's 1 for their first 4 to start the second half.
And DeRozan kicks to White. Aldridge up on top. Gay finds Murray. And the foul called on Kawhi Leonard. That's his first foul. Pirtle, he is checked in for Rudy Gay.
In for your Spurs, Jacob Pirtle.
Murray against Beverly. Pocket 6. Murray, no good.
Yeah, you know, guys, this has been far from his best game. A disappointing outing for both him and the team.
And he moves so well. When Leonard drives the lane, it's pretty much a guaranteed bucket. Terrific body control, and he plays with the ultimate force.
Here's DeRozan. Kawhi Leonard making his last shot. DeRozan dishes to Pirtle. Again, the miss by the Spurs.
Total breakdown from the defense there. I mean, he'll usually take advantage when that's the case.
Leonard kicks to George. Harrell trying to free himself up. It doesn't go for him. Spurs trail by 10. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Here's Murray. The shot, no good. So Los Angeles will take it the other way. The biggest lead of the game was 24 points. They'll be off to Oklahoma City for a meeting with the Thunder after this one. And that game will be game 2 of 3 straight on the road. Now, here's George. 12 points for him. Leonard, the pass to Beverly. A 3 from Morris. And the 3 ball is good. Morris has got 5 points so far.
Love the unselfishness of Beverly. I mean, when he sees his teammate wide open, he quickly gets him the ball.
Murray outside. And there's the call on Montrezl Harrell. That's foul number 2 for him. The last couple of years, Clark, we've seen a couple of Hall of Fame level players go on these farewell tours on their final year in the NBA. What a great way for fans of opposing teams to honor these terrific stars.
You know, I was a little bit mixed on how I felt about the farewell tours, but these two were handled so beautifully, and there have been others that have been handled great. It gives the fans an opportunity to express their feelings for some of the greats in the game, and that's heartwarming for all of us, I think.
Yeah, you and I were just talking about the way Kobe and Wade were terrific in their tours. Now, here is George. And you know the points will always be there for him. He's averaging just a shade under 20 points a game right now. And it's Leonard missing. And it's DeRozan with the ball for the San Antonio Spurs. It's a 13-point game. Fades, and he wills that one in, sinking right through off the back iron.
Boy, that looks like a scouting report breakdown there. I mean, the defense has to know where DeRozan wants to do the most work. That's his sweet spot there.
Now, here is Morris. He has 5. George passes to Morris. Puts it up from 15. Yep, it counts. Morris has got 5 points in the quarter.
The polished mid-range game of Morris. Some of his best shots come from about that 12 to 20-foot range.
Here's Lyles. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. Yep, it goes, and the Clipper lead is cut down to 11 on the bucket from Pirtle.
Really amazing body control by Pirtle, just taking the hit head on and finishing through the contact. I love it.
Beverly dishes to Leonard. Back to Beverly. Pass to Zubac. Fires the 3. Rebounded by the Spurs.
And you could tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Puts it up from 15. And DeRozan with the basket on the assist by Murray. And that's 13 points for DeMar DeRozan. Clippers leading by 9. So timeout called here, the first for Los Angeles.
DeJounte Murray played just one season at the University of Washington. He grew up in Seattle and went to Rainier Beach High School. It's actually the same high school that produced Jamal Crawford. And as a matter of fact, a lot of good players have come out of the Emerald City.
Forbes, he's checked in for San Antonio. Mills comes in for DeJounte Murray. The Clippers also changing it up. Patrick Patterson, he's checked in for Marcus Morris. Landry Shamet comes in for George. And it's Jackson in for Patrick Beverly. And in Seattle, Murray recognized from a young age as a potential pro.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you can identify those especially talented players, and his nickname was Baby Boy. And how about this, Kevin? Jamal Crawford has mentored DeJounte since the 6th grade. Those guys have exchanged text messages throughout that time. Jay Crossover, one of my favorites, on and off the court in the league, really has helped keep Murray on the right track.
Clock at 2. Leonard, that's for 2. Los Angeles with another miss. Spurs trail by 9. Spurs passing it around. And the shot goes in.
Boy, DeRozan showing you good recognition there. Saw the gap in the defense and fired the pass to the wide open man. Doesn't get much better than that.
Now here's Jackson. 5 points in the game.
And a moment now to check out the numbers for DeMar DeRozan. Averaging about 27 points per, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. It's hard to wrap your head around numbers like these, but that is just what he delivers night in and night out.
You know, it's so easy for us to take him for granted, to get spoiled with what he does. I think we've got to be more appreciative of the kind of impact this man has in every game he plays.
And the first one at the line is good. Clark, you were such a terrific athlete growing up, and it must be fun for you watching your kids and soon your grandkids go through their athletic journeys.
It really is one of the great blessings and treats of my life, to see our kids grow and develop as people, but also to enjoy different sports. Our boys played basketball and soccer, and our daughter played volleyball, all played in college at some level. And so it is great. Anytime you see your kids find their lane, enjoy running in it, and do well in that lane, it's joy indescribable.
Misses off the right iron.
Boy, he knows he should have knocked that one down, especially with the defense not giving much of an effort.
And Leonard gets it to go.
Oh, it's not easy trying to guard Leonard inside. I can tell you that, guys. I mean, he's so good at using his body to get shots up over the defense.
Leonard with the steal. And Kawhi Leonard with the slam.
Well, there you go. One team operating on all cylinders at both ends. Steals, fast break buckets, and the other team in scramble mode.
Now here's DeRozan. 13 points in the game. And the ball's tied up, so we'll have a jump ball.
You two players.
And the Spurs with possession here. That shot is in, just like 6 others have been for him. He's shooting 7 for 15.
And they've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
Pass to Leonard. And he gets the basket. Officials blowing the whistle, so a chance at the line for one more.
Coming off a big game, his confidence couldn't be higher, and coach knows it.
Showing no signs of slowing or cooling down. They're going to ride him as far as he can take him.
Let's look at the energy stats, how the hustle game has been going for the Clippers.
We've seen them make the extra effort from a defensive standpoint, closing out airspace and sending shots back.
They haven't wasted time getting the ball up the court tonight either, and it's resulted in a lot of fast break points.
The free throw drops for Leonard.
And the soft-spoken Leonard is now an elite talent in this league, an athletic forward who leads by example.
Now here's Zeller. He's been quiet so far, still no points in the game. And here's Gay outside. It's hauled in by the Clippers. Zubac has got rebound number 5 here tonight. Leonard with no one around. It's good, the assist this time from Jackson. Jackson's got his 7th assist in the game. Mills looking it over. And there's the whistle. Illegal screen. So a chance now to check out how the All-Star voting is shaping up.
And I tell you, the excitement starting to ratchet up a little bit as the tallies start coming in.
And you look at DeRozan. He's not quite there, but he's very close to his spot in the starting lineup for the West.
And to have the great season he's having and still not crack the top 5, that just tells you a lot about how terrific some of the other Western Conference players have been.
And keep tuning in for updated results. You can visit NBA.com for more. Here's Gay after the Clippers pick up 2.
You know, defensively, you just can't afford to give him that much room. They're fortunate that he missed that one.
And that one's good, Leonard.
And you want more of this from Jackson. The more unselfish he is, the better the team.
Here's Mills. Kawhi Leonard making his last shot. With the floater. Some solid defense there from Jackson.
No matter what looks they get, they just can't convert to stop this run.
And, you know, they've got to be careful because this is when the team concept breaks down and guys start playing hero ball.
Well-rounded effort, and they show no signs of letting up.
Almost no holes in their performance tonight. They've been tremendous.
2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Shot clock at 6. And here's Mills. Again, the miss by the Spurs. Kawhi Leonard has been on display for the LA Clippers. They kept going to him again and again, and he delivered with a monster quarter. And don't go away. We'll be right back. And with the 4th quarter upon us, time is running out for this game to become competitive. Now Mills. And the Clippers, looking at who they've got, Shamet Leonard are on the wings. Harrell is out there with Patrick Patterson. And it's Jackson in at the point. Now here's Gay. The pass to Mills. 5 to shoot. Back to Forbes. Aldridge trying to break free. And the shot clock expires. 24-second violation. And this is what the schedule looks like for the Los Angeles Clippers. On Sunday, they'll be facing Steven Adams and the Oklahoma City Thunder. And then on Wednesday, they'll go up against LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers.
You know, some might look ahead at the schedule and start marking off how many wins they'll wind up with, but I think that's a trap. You can't take any nights off in the NBA, and you've got to stay in the moment.
Here's Mills, following the score by Reggie Jackson. Mills passes to Aldridge. Rebound by Harrell. Harrell's got rebound number 5 here tonight.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
And it's been a well-rounded performance. I mean, strong rebounding has certainly been at the center of it, but it's been good on a number of levels.
Now, here's Shamet. From deep. And another 3 for the Clippers. And it's the Spurs ball. Up next for them, the Grizzlies at the FedEx Forum. That'll be the first half of a 2-game trip. They get a hand on it. Rosen dishes to Mills. Outside Aldridge. Once again off the mark by San Antonio. DeRozan against Leonard. Leonard draws the double. And we're going to have a jump ball. It's tied up there. Are there any changes you'd like to see made in the process when players and teams are fined for any number of things? Incidents on the floor or off the floor?
Well, I think there's a place for fines, and the different amounts depending on how egregious the act is by a player or team makes some sense. I think having different categories. But I'm one that would rather hit hard and less often. So I think if you want to minimize the number of finable offenses, then make the penalty be greater for those things that are finable.
And here's Gay. He'll bring it up for San Antonio. Looking to get on the board here in the fourth still. Now here's Mills. He's covered by Shamet. Got a hand on it. Here's Leonard. No good on the shot, a bit long that time. For San Antonio, they've gone a dismal 0 for 5 to get the fourth quarter underway. Now here's Mills. He's covered by Shamet. The drive by Gay. Their offense stone cold. Another miss there.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive.
Guys, that's putting it mildly. I mean, they've been absolutely dominant.
San Antonio's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Here's Mills. No good on that one. The Clippers go the other way with it. Now, here's Shamet. With the teardrop, Noah, and he drops in the layup off the glass.
When you allow good scorers to get uncontested shots at the rim, no wonder you're losing.
You know, he should be getting extra attention from the defense, not less.
Here's Mann. Banked in off the glass.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash-mouth physical basketball, guys.
Now here's Mills. To the inside. Johnson inside. He's covered by Shamet. Johnson gets the bucket. Shamet with it. Mark, the max contract didn't exist when you were playing. Is it something that should be up for debate?
Well, it's a function of the economics of the league now, and in theory, there's some reasons why you have max contracts, because a guy has earned that opportunity, a way to keep a star player or a max contract player with the same team, I think is part of the reasoning behind it. I mean, debating it and talking about it is probably something that makes some sense. If you're thinking about getting rid of it, I'm not so sure.
The Spurs shooting about 35% from the floor, not much falling for them. Here's Mills. Green with the rebound.
Oof, rough shooting night tonight, but you can't fault him for the effort.
Here's Shamet, and that one's drained from the low block. Shamet's got 5 points in the quarter. Shamet's gotten 3 of his 4 shots to fall, hitting 75%. Passes it to Gay. It's going to be a goaltending call here, so they'll count the bucket.
Man, that's a tough call for the refs to make there. I'm not sure it was on the way down, but that's how they saw it.
A different look now for San Antonio. Derek White's checked in for Gay, and Murray's subbed in for Patty Mills. The Clippers have gone 5 of 10, 50% from the field. Here's Shamet. Pass to Green. 6 on the shot clock. Noah trying to get open. Green passes to Noah. Rebound by Murray. Murray's got 4 rebounds now tonight to the middle. And that one's good. Samanic.
Outstanding execution. Good job working the ball inside.
Man, he's covered by Murray. And here is Shamet. Outside, Green. Here's Magruder. Over Johnson. And again, it's the Clippers missing.
And whether he's a great off-balance shooter or not, the lean is probably not the best option on that shot.
LA has gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. Bounce pass from Shamet. Over to the left wing. Now Noah. Pass to Magruder. Here's Green. Clippers moving the ball around. Noah's shot is off.
He missed that one, but I've seen him drill shots from that distance in warm-ups.
Well, that looked to me, guys, like a heat check and was maybe a step out of his range.
Yeah, I love the communication and the chemistry between those teammates.
Now, here's Shamet. He's guarded closely. Mark, for a while now, you and I were just talking. We've had a rule that a team cannot go without a first-round pick in consecutive years. Could it be time to lift that restriction?
I certainly wouldn't mind discussing lifting the restriction, but I like it as it is on the books because it does lend itself, I think, to competitive balance. And that's important in the strength of a league.
And they force the shot clock violation. Great D. San Antonio's gone 0 of 3 so far in the fourth quarter from long range. Here's White. And a foul call. Almost got it to go in, but he'll go to the line for 2. Well, Clark, underrated athleticism for Derek White. For a 6'4" guard, he can finish above the rim.
And not only that, guys, but he also blocks shots. I mean, coming out of college, he and number 1 pick Markelle Fultz, the only players in the Pac-12 that rank top 10 in scoring, assists, and blocks. That's a heck of a triple.
And that one falls for White.
Derek White played his first 3 years at Division III UC Colorado Springs. This guy ended up being the 29th pick in the 2017 draft out of Colorado. In his lone season with the Buffaloes, he was all Pac-12 first team and all defense.
And so he hits both. And coming out of high school, White's only scholarship offer was a partial one to Colorado Springs.
And you know what, guys? Sometimes rejection like that can actually fuel you to greater heights. It put a chip on his shoulder. He plays with an edge. He improved, transferred to the Pac-12 for his senior season, and really the rest is history. He's got a promising future as an NBA player in front of him.
Just 4 to shoot. Here's Magruder. And again, unable to change momentum here. Johnson outside. Now the pass to White. That one falls, coming off Johnson's feet. White's got 4 points this quarter.
It all started with the pass. That's what coaches love to see, ball movement.
Green deciding where to go with it. Passes to Shamet. Back to Green, to the wing on the left. Down low. And that one's good, Shamet.
How about that screen by Noah?
Here are the Spurs with the ball. They're on a 12-4 run right now.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for Los Angeles.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And a milestone win for the season. This will push their victory total to 20 wins even.
And they've put themselves into the driver's seat in regards to the season series with this team. Tonight's win will give them a 2-1 edge with only one left to play.
You know, no matter what happens next time they meet, I think this was the biggest game they'll play against each other this season. Getting that 2-1 advantage means so much.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for Leonard.
It was the kind of game for him that all scorers dream of, where the basket seemed as wide as a barrel.
At the line for your Spurs, Dwyane Wade. Taking 2 shots.
And that one falls for White. A platoon swap here for the Clippers. He doesn't get the second one.
Yeah, he cuts the deficit a little bit, but not as much as he could have. One miss can make a big difference.
Beverly, the pass to Leonard. Shoots over White. And it's Leonard missing. There's 25 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. Marcus Morris picks one up there.
Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there.
Blatant contact. Straightforward call. Simple.
2 shots.
First one falls for him. And both free throws good for White. There's 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Well, for the Clippers, they can just run out the clock. Outside, Green. So it's Los Angeles winning this one easily. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance all the way around.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks very much, Paul. Congrats on the win. Where's your team's attitude right now?
Continue to, play together. And we can just stick to that, keep working, staying confident, keep defending, and knocking shots down. We'll be all right.
Looked like it all came together tonight, Paul. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. See you next time.